cultists, and welcome back to episode 5 of Honey I Joined a Cult. This is your exalted one, Egg Eggington speaking. And as ever, the weird, very worrying thing for me is that, yet again, I've started us off looking at our eggoids asleep. Now, the eagle-eyed out there might notice something. There's an eggoid missing. It's 2:55 in the morning. Everyone's tucked up asleep. We've got Amanda Jane, we've got Natalie, we've got Aria, we've got Thomas, we've got me. But someone seems to be missing, and that someone seems to be our number one Berkey. Well, where could he be? Well, let's have a little look down here, shall we? So, number one Berkey is up having a sneaky snack during the night. Now, I'm not one to shame anyone necessarily for this, but you better not be bloody tired tomorrow when we send him off to work. And I'll know why. And probably, let's be honest, if he's out there eating at 2:55 in the morning from the snack machine, it's burning through our cash. So let me just say, Berkey, I'm on to you. I can see what you're doing. Just because I'm asleep doesn't mean my eyes aren't always watching what the cult get up to. Now you can see down here, we've got a little a flashing alert saying gaining influence, and it says struggling to gain enough influence. Don't worry, we've all been there before. Building therapy rooms is a great way to increase your influence output. Now we have a therapy room currently being made, which is our energy spa, and as in the last video, we're, well, I was going to say a little bit short of cash for it, but that's a bit of a lie. We're about like 4,500 quid short of the cash. So that is going to take us a little bit of time to do. But I'm hoping at the very least, probably in this day, we can get enough to maybe get one energy bed in there. Because I don't really know how many you need. I know it says you can have up to 3. But I think I might be able to make it functional with 1. So we'll be looking to do that today. We'll also be looking to get a new follower to join the Eggoid, I was going to say army, sends out the wrong message, the lovely fluffy Eggoid cult that we are, the happy place, the place where everyone wants to be. Join us by dropping your name in the comments and you can become one of our Eggoids. So we'll look to do that whilst not massively destroying our money. And currently we've got on the research table, we are researching the recruitment office. Now, I'll have to have a look when that room is up and running as to how we man it, whether it needs a person, how much it will cost. But I think it's something that we are very keen to move forward with, because we really haven't been very good at getting followers in, despite pumping skills into both Amanda, I think it's Aria, who's also on reception. But yeah, we seem to be struggling to bring that follower number up, and I think that is going to be very key for us over the coming days and the coming episodes. We need to start turning in a lot more influence and a lot more money. Now, before we crack on with the day, let's also have a look at missions. So there is a mission available to us for the day, and we'll consider whether we're going to put someone to that. And this mission again is looking at increasing our PR rating, increasing a bit of influence, increasing a bit of faith, and a nice little XP boost per Eggoid. Probably look to get that going, but at the moment, as everyone's asleep, apart from you, Berkey, I'm watching you, then we'll probably skip forward now to early hours of the day and look at getting our new recruit, or our new Eggoid, should I say, from our followers. Speak to you in a moment. And we're back with everyone up and at 'em. They've all washed, showered, gone to the toilet. I now realise that washing and showering, same thing, but they've showered, gone to the toilet, and all had their breakfast for the day. Just to keep people updated for anyone who's checking the food ratio, yes, despite his 3 o'clock in the morning lunch at the vending machine, Berkey did have a breakfast as well. So they're going to crack on with their day. But before they do, I want to go and have a look at our followers. So currently we have 2 followers that are, oh no, sorry, blimey, loads of followers who are potentially recruitable. So we've got Michael, Jade, Clint, Claire, Abigail, and Abby. Now, looking across these, you'll notice here traits. Now, traits are potentially good. They're also potentially bad. So I think what I'm looking to do is probably take the gamble of getting in someone with more traits in the hope that they might actually assist us quite a bit. So what we'll do is I think we'll have a crack at recruiting Claire and see if we can get her in the fold. We already know there's already a bedroom created for her, so we don't need to potentially take any cost. There you go. Should have thought about that before I'd done this whole bit. But she's at home, so because she's not in the compound yet, and I guess because the day is just starting, we'll need to wait for her to turn up. So we'll skip ahead a little bit and we'll crack into... Actually, no, I'll take that back. We won't skip ahead a little bit. Before we do, I think I'm going to send my boy Berkey out on this. He had a... I cannot. God, this is a failure for me, but I'm learning a lot, I guess. I want to send Berkey off onto another mission today. He did quite well on it yesterday, but he's still on a cooldown for 4.87 hours, hopefully in-game hours and not real hours. So even that's blocked to me, but probably what we can do is we can keep him on research, and then around lunchtime look to send him off on this mission, because there's not a lot of heat that comes with it. And as I say, I don't really know what is a bad amount of heat, but I can't imagine we need to worry until we get into the hundreds at the very least. So I think we can afford a little bit more heat, and the research is going well, and I'm probably satisfied at the moment with one bit of research coming through a day. So I think if I can split Berkey's time between research and getting out there and doing missions, then it means that our reception should be covered, our greatness should be covered, at least one of our rooms should be covered, our therapy room should I say, and we have someone doing the janitorial duties, which from what I can tell can become problematic if you don't stay on top of them. So yeah, this really does mean that I'm kind of frazzled to be able to do anything at the moment. So yep, we will skip on, come back for hopefully a successful recruitment, and maybe by that time we might have earned a little bit of cash money and we can look at an energy bed, but we'll pop back and see where we're at. Well, we didn't really have to go too far forward. Claire's turned up nice and early, ready to be recruited. Fingers crossed. We did actually miss out on, yet again, bringing another follower in. I'm not really sure what's going on with me reception and me inability to convince anyone to join the cult at the moment, which is probably very, very poor for a cult not being able to actually get anyone to join us. But before we look at doing the recruiting, we've got a little skill point here. So I believe it's for Thomas. So let's click on. Yeah, it is for Thomas. Now, Thomas is our maintenance technician, and if we look at his priorities, we have told him definitely don't research, but we have said focusing on that. So let's have a look and see where we want to stick our skills to help him out with that. So I'll be dubious if it's public speaking, but I don't know. I've never worked in maintenance. Social, no. Improvisation, so that increases his patrol speed, so we'll consider that, and also he can potentially be used in the kitchen if we go that route in the near future. Retail, nothing. Planning, again, increases patrol speed. Covert ops isn't anything that I've got involved with yet, and I think I'm a little way off. I'm probably closer to the kitchen than I am covert ops. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. So improvisation it is. So Thomas, you will now become more expensive but quicker at cleaning, which I think we're going to need, especially as the numbers go up. And let's see if we can make that fantasy a reality right now. So we said about Claire, so let's see if we can convince Claire to become one of our people. So in here recruit, and why wouldn't she, you know? Oh God, she's very interested in maggot rejuvenation, something that I haven't unlocked yet, and discombobulation. Oh, she'll love the energy spa. Right, let's stop messing around. Let's do it. Come on, decide. And decide the right way. You know you want to. You know you want to. Although that face doesn't look like someone who wants to, does it? That face looks like she ain't joining, but... Oops, did a bad thing there, clicked away from her. So she's still deciding, oh, of course, I need to actually let the day move on, so she can decide. Frazzled face, not sure. Boom, we now have 7 eggoids. Now let's have a look. I think what we're going to need to do here... Oh, wants to go to the toilet straight away. I wonder how long she's been holding that in. What is Aria up to here? Looks like she's dreaming of watching telly. Something I think we all do when we're at work. So let's have a look at Claire. I think she's probably coming in with no skills. However, quality is very poor. Lovely. Big belly badness. She takes longer on the toilet. She hates cards. And she's a strange petty criminal. And I would say that this probably hasn't been the gangbuster recruit that I hoped, but numbers are the thing at the moment, and I think people with flaws are probably more than likely at the stage that we're at, although now I'm regretting picking someone with 4 traits as I've got 4 negative ones, especially big belly badness. I could see there being a big fight to take over Claire, because who doesn't want to be known as that person who has toilet troubles? Right, so bearing in mind she's got 0 skills, let's see what we're going to do with her. So we know we're kind of covered in the preacher role. We've got the meditation studio predominantly covered. I know we have gaps of a couple of hours in the day where it's not covered, but maybe we could look at splitting time. So the recharger will be for the energy spa, which isn't up and running yet. But I mean, it's problematic because I don't kind of want to waste any initial time. So if I stick it between the meditation and the maintenance at the moment, which are 2 roles that we're currently doing, and look to probably flip her into recharging. Now, let's have a look at her break schedule. So actually, let's look at the break schedule in its entirety, so I don't make the same mistake again. So we've got a split one there. I mean, maybe, just maybe, with her sitting in that sort of snug 12 till 1 o'clock. Oh, that is the same as our maintenance with Thomas Hooper, so that's not good. Let's have a look. I think it's Natalie that's doing that. So, Claire, you are going to get a late lunch. And hopefully that means she can split her time between the meditation room and maintenance if required. Now, because we haven't skipped on particularly far, the mission still isn't available for Berkey, and I know I could send other people on it. In fact, potentially, I guess I could send Claire, but let's consider that. I think it might show that she would not be successful. It's a 0% chance, so no thanks. So we'll leave that and we'll wait for Berkey to become available, and hopefully he'll be a large part way through his missions, his research at that point. But we'll skip along, and hopefully Claire won't spend all of her time in the toilet, and we'll get to see her be a bit productive, and then look at getting our mission on the go and improving this energy spa. Now, we've completed our research, so we're going to have a look at that in a minute, but yeah, I'd like to give a little focus to the oddities and what some of me cult members are up to, and I just want to touch on Claire, on our latest and newest recruit. So she's come on board, she's gone for a poo, because she was there for a very long time, and now she's nipped off to listen to some records. So I really do think my calibre of recruit here is particularly low. So there may be been some errors there. So, but numbers is numbers. But with all that in mind, let's see what number one Berkey has got up to and what he's unlocked for us. So we now can build the recruitment office. So it's a new room. Egoids will walk out to the street to attract potentially better quality followers to the lobby. So that will be quite handy for us. Before we actually have a look at that though, and this alert around quality individuals, I'm not entirely convinced that's something we will be building today because of financial constraints. However, it does give us potential upgrades, and we need to look at what we're going to research yet. I looked before we come back on, and we're still a little bit away from Berkey being able to do his mission, so we probably will get him started on some further research. Now, I know I looked and talked about the kitchen previously, so prepares meals for your canteen. Now, it's it's 9 hours, and it is quite a bit of influence to unlock. But I think it might be worth it, because I think despite it having a cost and despite it needing an egoid, it should bring us forward on the health, the happiness of our people, because they're getting a full meal rather than just snacks out of the canteen. Like I said last episode, I'm not particularly interested in the rec room upgrade yet. The mood boost, I just don't feel like we're there yet. The spirit chamber, well, we've already got a room that we haven't completed yet. And the influence cap, we are spending influence quite regularly, so I don't think we potentially need that yet. Might consider it next. So, what's the only other option other than the kitchen? Well, it is this leader's sanctum. So this is used by the leader to discover divine inspirations. Now, I'm not particularly sure what a divine inspiration is. However, I can only imagine that it's something that maybe allows me to boost things for my followers. And I would have thought, as it's a leader sanctum, it would be somewhere where I might actually put a day's work for the first time in this game. So that is a high consideration. And what is particularly interesting about it is it gets me towards the bedroom upgrade. And I think that some upgrades in certain areas may become vital quite soon. Now, the other consideration I have is not necessarily wanting the mood boost, but that gets me to the bathroom upgrade. And as you've seen in previous episodes, we do have a cleanliness issue in the compound, and I can only put that down to how scuzzy our bathroom facilities are. So that is of a big interest to me as an upgrade, probably more than the bedroom is. But having said that, I could see myself potentially going leader sanctum, kitchen, mood boost, bathroom. So we have kind of a path, or potentially mood boost, bathroom, then kitchen. But for me, it has to be this leader sanctum, because I think upgrading or potentially unlocking something that might help with the skills, or might help with bringing in more influence or money that I can effectively be used for, is going to come in very handy, he says, not knowing but hoping. So we'll click that as our next researcher, and also we'll just pop and have a look at this alert called quality individuals. So the quality rating of an egoid is a measure of their potential. High quality egoids have higher level and skill caps. You've seen from some of the ones that I've got so far that their skill caps are particularly low, so we're only going to be able to upgrade them probably a very minimal amount. It says they can be turned into a very proficient member of our organisation. Increasing our PR rating through missions will allow us to attract higher quality followers, which we can then recruit as egoids. For now, we'll have to settle for whatever we can get. That sounds a bit harsh. I wouldn't say that in front of the egoids. Once we've reached our egoid cap, we might want to get rid of some of our lower quality egoids to make way for better quality ones. Well, that's going to be interesting, especially for, let's say, Amanda Jane and number one Berkey, who have joined our cult. And again, this is a time where if anyone else wants to join the cult, jump in. So if I was to we politely put it, lose a cult member here or there, what if it had to be one of them? Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but for anyone who is watching and wants to be part of it, I promise, this might be a promise that isn't upheld, that if you were suddenly to disappear because it was a better quality eggoid, I think it would be only right to probably pass your name on as if it's your child or your grandchild, depending on how long you've been in the game. So, but yeah, I do need to obviously keep that in mind, that with quality increases, we have a lot of followers here who, by the looks of it, are particularly low quality. So we need them to bring the money in, but maybe they are not the best recruits. However, balance and all that, we might need to bring them in to pump it out. I think that's one of the things that's great about this game, and I guess any strategy games like this, for anyone who's played anything from Civilization to Theme Park to oh god, I'm blanking on it, but it's that finding that balance. It's the looking for, how do you bring enough in this game, certainly how do you bring enough money in whilst also gaining enough influence, whilst also making sure that your followers are happy, whilst not bringing too much heat on you, whilst having people able to do the work that you need at the time you need to do it. Interesting little puzzle, and I think early doors, a tough balance act, because you really aren't pumping out enough of anything probably. But I don't think that's potentially going to get any easier, because if you get to the point where, let's say it's 50 eggoids, actually maintaining those and maintaining how they do it is going to come with its own unique set of problems. But that's a problem for another day, and that sounds like the sort of thing that I've said before. My god, yes I have. So we can now build a new room. So we can build the recruitment office. It doesn't need to be particularly big, but let's have a look. So the recruitment office are used by eggoids. They will walk out to the street to attract potentially better quality followers to the lobby. I think better quality, as we've covered already, is going to be a bonus for us long term, but I'm kind of hoping what it actually will do if I get it up and running is just attract more people to join it. We do need to start pumping these followers up. We have a cap of 22, and ideally I'd like to get up and around that, because then we should start seeing big increases in the cash. Now, what sort of objects are found in the recruitment room? Oh, I've gone to rec room. I was going to say, why do we need a record player in there? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a record player. So it's not the world's most expensive amount of gear to move in there. We're looking at like under 2,000 probably with the build of the room. Now, bearing in mind where I am with the money, I think as much as it's unlocked, it's a not for now. I would like to get the energy spa up and running first. Now, I did check, didn't I? Yep, we've got an hour to go till Berkey can go on his mission. So I will chuck the game forward. Probably send him on his mission without necessarily you guys seeing him go on his mission, because you've seen me put someone on a mission before. And we'll jump back in when something significant happens. See you in a bit. So we pop back at lunchtime, or at some people's lunchtime. As you can see, Natalie's up there getting some food. I seem to be in the kitchen thinking of the toilet. Weird. This is just a flying visit because we have a skill upgrade. We've sent Berkey out on the mission, but not only is it a skill upgrade, but it's a skill upgrade for our very own Amanda Jane, who, let's be honest, has been fantastic so far, generally earning most of our cash in the Great Nest. So it'd be good to upgrade her. I do feel slightly bad, Amanda, if you're watching, that I've decided to upgrade you while you're on the bog, but that is that. So we've been pumping bluffing up. Now, the improvisation is at -1. I can't remember why she got it. I think it was one of her traits. Was it that? Yeah, possibly. Oh, disorganised. Yep. So it does knock down her empathy and her planning. But as she's not doing anything with improvisation, I don't mind that being -1. And also, yeah, we don't have anything with her in the planning world, so not a particular problem. Now, we've pumped bluffing before because it increases influence gain and it increases recruitment chance. Empathy, yeah, I'm not particularly interested in that. So I think we just keep on the path of upgrading her bluffing to the point where we can upgrade no more. Again, though, it will make her cost more for me. So at the moment, her daily cost is 38.4 faith, and she ends up at 45.6. So again, talking earlier about balances, being able to keep up with the amount of faith that's needed, because I imagine if we don't have the faith cost, or if we can't cover the faith costs per day, that would be when maybe Eggoids look to leave us because they've lost faith in me, Egg Eggington, the exalted one. Now, when I say leave us, I'm sure they will walk out the door, but I'm sure my highly trained assassins will find them and make them regret the day they ever left this cult. And that's not a threat for anyone thinking about joining it. It's a promise. So now that Amanda Jane is upgraded, you can see that a bit of money is coming in, but nothing too significant at this stage. We want to get up to around 4,000 before we think about installing an energy bed and potentially moving Claire over to working in that room. But we'll scoodle forward, and I think I'll probably look to come back when we have that amount of money and get that installed and see whether we can go live with just one energy bed. And also at that point, maybe have a look at where we are with the followers. Let's see whether Aria has been doing any good in the world of reception. You can see at the moment, no is the answer. But we'll pop on back and get the energy spa up and running. And this is a nice little time to return. We have a completed mission. We have over the 4,000 we wanted to try and get an energy bed up and running. But quite significantly, with one still on their way in, we've had a little jump in the followers. We've had a bumper in game last hour where 2 have not only come in, but they've decided to join us. As ever, please join us by liking and subscribing, join us on our Facebook page, and becoming an official Eggoid by dropping your name or what you'd like to be called in the comments. So how about we go first to the missions? Let's get our rewards for Berkey's hard work. So mission is complete, turn him. So he participated in an overly big houses segment about Eggoids at the TV station. So moved from radio last episode to getting himself on TV. Wonder if he talked about his late night eating habits. So this has provided a 257 XP per Eggoid bonus, an increase of 5 faith, which will go towards paying this off. 11 influence up, our PR rating going up by 19, and yet again, Berkey brings more than the expected heat. Brought 13 rather than the 9 that we expected, so some untoward things on TV. Let's hope that it was at least something vocal and it wasn't something that he did visually, because you can't forget things like that. So that mission, all well and good, and I think good for the cult. And we'll see, obviously, over the next couple of days again what this PR rating starts to bring for us. Now, let's get to the energy spa. So, room-specific objects, and if we scroll down, what it's lacking and what it requires is an energy bed. And as we said, the energy beds are 1,500. Now, I am hoping that, oh god, they look quite alright actually. I'm kind of hoping that we can place one in here and go live with it. Now, by the looks of it, I think I'm going to need to be a little bit careful about where I place it, because it won't let me go this close to the wall, so it has to be here. And of course, what I don't want to do is place it anywhere which would prevent us from filling out the room with all 3. So I think maybe if I put one against the wall there. Now, what you can see is we've lost, the warning signal has gone from up here that we previously had. So that says to me that this can now be used as a functional room, which is very, very handy. Now, if we are going to use this as a functional room, it's time to shift Claire over and make this her permanent role. So if we take her off of working in a meditation studio and as a maintenance technician, and if we put her in the recharger as our highest priority, so that means she should work in there at all times when there's no one else working in there. Now, she's in the research office at the moment, but as I say, the hope is that she'll shift over to there. And we are fast approaching the end of day 5, but maybe we can get some cash money out of that, and we'll have a whole day of her tomorrow, barring lunch break, working in there. And of course, when Berkey comes back from the mission, he can flip back into the research office and cover that off. Now, I think we will have a look and see what that does for us. We've probably the 3 hours left in the workday. Let's see whether that really does tweak up the amount of money that we get in. In fact, let me just have a look at the room. So follower impact per 15 minutes. And again, bearing in mind, only 1 bed, so we would only get 1 follower on it. But it should bring in a nice chunk of cash. It should bring in a nice chunk of influence. XP, fine. It was, I don't know if a 0.82 is an increase in the boredom rate or whether it's a decrease, because maybe an energy spa is particularly boring. I mean, I would have thought that actually adding in extra stuff would take away the boredom, but yeah, hopefully that is an improvement rather than a negative. Now, as I said, we've got 2 new followers. I won't look at the followers specifically. I think on a couple of episodes we've had a little look at kind of their flavour text, but I'm moving more towards now only looking at flavour text probably when we review who we're going to bring in. And I'll be honest, as much as I like a hilarious flavour text, I will probably lean more towards skill sets, traits, quality for future recruits. But let's ping forward. I think probably we will come back in time for the sermon, so we can maybe have a look, unless anything dramatic or significant happens. And I think we might also consider, and this is something that I really resisted at first, but possibly going into the next day, I might look at rejigging these bedrooms. I liked the idea of giving everyone an individual bedroom initially, but I think one that's been at great cost to the cult, and also I think we could probably fit more beds in. I mean, we've only got 2 more egoids that we can actually recruit in, but I think I'm probably limiting myself quite a bit at the moment with that. However, it does feel right everyone having their own bedroom. I just feel like we will run out of space if we continue doing this, but that'll be something probably to consider, as I say, at the end of the day, when maybe we review the money, to see what we potentially want to do for the next day. Right, see you at the end of the day. I lied. I won't see you at the end of the day. And I said about something significant happening, and lo and behold, at 7 o'clock, or just past 7, we had this flash up. What is your major malfunction? And an object just broke. Honestly, these egoids are so heavy-handed. When an object breaks, you have 2 options: fix it or replace it. A maintenance room, which we have, will allow you to fix things for free, but repairs take time. Replacing an item is instant, but can be very expensive. Higher quality items will last longer and need repairing less often. A worthwhile investment, if you ask me. So, our first broken object. And what is broken? Well, it's a toilet. And God, I don't think with the amount that these guys go to the toilet, and what was it Claire had? Big belly, let's have a look. Big belly badness. I don't want a toilet out of order. So I think we want to fix it. I don't think we necessarily are in the boat where we need to replace, because we have someone working maintenance. Now, when I say we need to fix it, let's have a look and see what happens. Can I click on this? Yes, I can. And that just tells me the bathroom, but is there some way to specifically target that toilet bucket broken? That's the bathroom. God, here you go. Here's like the learning the game live now. I believe it is Thomas that we have on maintenance. So if I can find Thomas. Oh, Thomas is actually heading to go to the toilet, but can I click him? The quality very poor. It's amazing how much I see that on here. I wonder whether he will automatically go to fix this, or whether he actually requires to be told to go and fix it. So I'm just kind of tooling around to see whether there is something. It doesn't seem to be any way that I can specifically make sure he goes and fixes the toilet. And as he's going to the toilet, I think that probably prevents that anyway. But I'm going to click it on. Who knew that I would find a level of interest in toilet fixing? But I kind of want to see whether he goes to the toilet and then whether he cracks straight on with fixing this broken one, or whether he just jogs on and does something else. Right, so he's cleaned his hands. He's going back to work, but that doesn't seem to entail going to this toilet specifically. Oh yes, this is not going as hoped. Now, we're towards the end of the workday, so that could be problematic. Now, if I click on that, I was hoping it lets me cycle through. I was hoping it actually lets me go fix this bloody thing. Right, so we're heading towards the end of the day, but what I think I'll do is, off camera, I'll have a little fiddle, see if I can figure out how to assign it to it, because I wouldn't mind that up and running relatively early tomorrow, because I think that's going to cause us hygiene problems, health problems, and a bit of a queue in the toilet in the morning. So I'll pop back, hopefully with some celebratory news that I've managed to figure out how to play this game. And outside of that, probably hit up the sermon and look to see how we've done for the day. Unlike in real life, the mystery of how to fix a broken toilet will remain a mystery at this point. I did have a click around to see whether there's anything specifically I could do, and I tried to look at some of the tutorial stuff, and it seemed to suggest that it would be fixed as a matter of course at a certain point when he's in that room doing maintenance, and I think that's something that we might have to live with going forward. We may need to even consider where the maintenance room is situated in comparison to the rest of it, but I felt like the working toilets was significant enough not to mess around. So they're only $30, and I know money is tight, and I've talked about that, but I just got rid of the broken one, put in a new fixed toilet because I didn't want further hygiene issues coming off of that. But we look, and we're heading towards sermon time. I'm just about to head off to the sermon, and the egoids are about to join. And we look, and I see that we end the day with 11 followers. So we're actually up a follower, but in theory we're up 2 followers because we did actually recruit into the egoids today. So Claire will get her first sermon of the evening. So we'll skip to the, we'll click play, we'll get into the sermon, we'll see what that brings, and potentially look to wrap this video, because I think there actually has been quite a few things that have happened today. We've got the energy spa at least semi-functional. We completed another mission. We're quite far on the road to researching the leader sanctum, and obviously that's something we'll have to look at in the next day, in the next video, to go, do we continue to focus on upgrading the energy spa, or do we want to get the leader sanctum up and running? And again, bearing in mind we also have the research room, or also the recruitment office that we can get building. So quite a few things for us to look at going forward, and of course, as discussed, potentially in the next video we might look at having a little bit of a rejig here, because I think with the amount of followers we have that are ready to recruit, and bearing in mind so far all the ones we have come out with poor skill, I think we might want to look to push ourselves up to the 9 followers. And I think rather than going to the cost of building out bedrooms like this, I might want to break the walls down and actually look to make more room, make more use of the space that I've got, and especially because of my lava lamp obsession, I think that should probably raise the prestige quite a bit if I make these rooms just bigger. But yeah, that's sort of stuff for us to consider going into the next video. But let's have a look and see how the sermon works out. So here we go, the slow walk, and I like to see that there's that kind of reverence towards myself, Egg Eggington, as people, despite probably being keen to hear what I have to say, still kind of waiting behind me. However, I am slow. Very, very slow. Everyone kind of overtook me almost instantaneously. And speaking of slow, here come the stragglers. Who is that? That was Thomas and Aria. But preach away, Egg Eggington. Probably dropping little hints about the mystery of what could be inside the egg, the almighty egg. And for those who want to know what's inside the almighty egg, there's only one way ultimately to do that, and that's to join us. And if you join us and you become a full and productive member of this cult, one day you might ascend to the heights where you will get to know what is actually contained within the almighty egg. But until such time, just know it is great. So there we go. The sermon is completed, and a little uptick. The last sermon we completed was only a 1-star quality, and we've gone back up to 2-star. It cost us no influence. We generated 235 faith. Now, a smart man, which I have not been up to this point, will probably have a look at across our eggoids and figure out how much faith we are spending and how much faith we're bringing in things like the sermons. Haven't done that yet. Something to consider going forward, especially if I'm thinking about taking on 2 more eggoids. So my mood yet again goes down, my energy goes up, and the theme rating will stay at 0 until such a time as we unlock whatever requires themes. But at the end of today, we replaced a toilet. We didn't want to, but we had to. But the money actually went down by $8, and it actually is that pesky toilet that took us into minus figures. Now, looking at what we spent today, we didn't actually spend a lot. We only got the energy spa up and running. So you could argue that monies are one of our bigger issues at the moment. We're not generating enough cash to really be able to make any leaps and bounds. However, getting a bed in that energy spa should increase income on the next day. And of course then, when you get a second bed in there, and then ultimately the third bed, we should see some payoff for these. We should then start to see that money coming in more and probably allowing us to spend. I think I said it before, speculate to accumulate. But I still want to keep this little nest egg, shall we say, of 2,500 at least in there in case of emergency. So for example, like we had today with that toilet, if we had an absolute maintenance apocalypse and I needed to replace loads of bits of kit to keep the compound up and running, I've got that. So money down 8, as I say. Faith, well, plus 196. Now bearing in mind we are at 7 eggoids, that says to me if our faith is continuing to increase, even with the higher skilled eggoids, that says to me that we probably have room to take on 2 more. Now bearing in mind we probably won't do a 2-star sermon every night. We've seen 1-stars before, and I would imagine our faith is a little bit less, but that does feel like I probably have the cushion there to take on the 2 followers, make the 2 followers into eggoids. So that really is going to be a strong consideration for the next episode. Influence in the plus, I'll take anything in a plus at the moment. We did do research today. I don't think we spent any influence on necessary room costs, but again, it's that steady increases. If we can get that ball rolling and get it rolling in the right direction, it feels like it will have a payoff. PR has gone up by 19 because of the mission by number 1 Berkey, and the heat actually only went up plus 7 in the end. So obviously where we are not necessarily attracting a lot of heat during the day, and we're not doing multiple missions. So as much as it's increasing, it hasn't increased by the 13 that potentially it could. So we are generating heat at a rate where it's not hurting us too badly. The overall cult happiness, I think that probably is where it stayed. Eggoids are feeling positively average, and I've mentioned a couple of times about the mood boost. I think over time that is going to start to become an issue for us if we don't upgrade things like the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the recreational room. But at the moment, happy with that is. So all in all, I think this has been a very good and productive day for the cult, and I need to thank the Eggoids for that. Because without the Eggoids, this cult is nothing. And without you, the people who are watching, I guess this stream is nothing. So please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and drop us some feedback in the comments. I'm particularly interested in getting some of you guys to become official Eggoids. It actually just makes it a little bit more interesting for me. It's quite nice to refer to them as in some cases people I know, but just someone who's taken the time to actually want to be a part of this. So yeah, please give us a little shout out in the YouTube comments and let us know what you want to be called, and actually if there's a particular Eggoid you want to be. Now obviously you can't be Amanda Jane because she's an official Eggoid, you can't be number 1 Berkey, but as it stands we have multiple Eggoids up for grabs. We'll be back for episode 6, and I thought we'd actually do a double day, and I know I talked about that in my last video, but looking at the potential of what we have, it could be a single day, because we may well be doing some leaps and bounds in renovation. But that's a story for the next time. And until the next time, just remember, be excellent to each other.